Hello, my absolutely beautiful astrology soulmates, and welcome to your weekly horoscope for the week of November 4th, where this week we have got election week going in the United States. So I do want to say that I understand this week may be loaded with for some of you guys with a bit of tension. There's a lot of energy going, and just to say the dust will settle. And this week I think is another supporting indicator that the dust will settle, and humans always adjust, we always adapt. And I also want to start this weekly video by saying thank you so much to every single one of you who has reached out, whether it be Instagram, Facebook, text, call, email, to see if myself and my family are okay here in Spain due to all of the flooding. And I just want to say thank you so much for checking on us. We are doing very, very well. We are just fine at the moment, and sending lots and lots of love to all of our friends and people who are in the areas of Valencia and have been affected by the floods. We saw this morning that Almeria also had some of their streets actually come apart. So just sending a lot of love, and just to remember, it's change. It is change, but we are holding you very humanly in our thoughts and in our prayers, okay? All right, beautiful friends, let's get ready to jump in and see what the week has to offer. First things first, if you have not gotten your 2025 digital transit calendar to help you walk through all of the changes that are going to be coming in 2025, you can find that in the description box down below. And we are also in our last month, I believe, to get registered for the FAA conference that is happening in Australia. Now, this is going to be January 2025. I'm really, really very excited to have been asked to speak and to present, and I think I have 3 or 4 talks happening there. So if you're one of our friends who are going to be down in Australia, or you're from Australia, I very much so look forward to coming to your neck of the woods, to seeing how your life is happening, how astrology is unfolding down there for you, and of course to meet every single one of you. So in your last moments to get registered, feel free to click in the description box down below, get signed up. I love you, and I will see you there. All right, into the weekly sky. What has it got to offer? First and foremost, so looking at our quote of the week and our thought of the week, this is where my mind was taking us. So with the quote of the week, we have got from Paulo Coelho, who I love. My favorite book is The Alchemist. Freedom is not the absence of commitment, but the ability to choose and commit myself to what is best for me. I love that. So with a guiding thought this week, we're asked to balance personal freedom with responsibility, as planetary patterns invite us to harmonize structure with our emotional depth. With stabilizing influences and spiritual aspects in play, this is a week to reconnect with what matters most and find grounding in your chosen path. So, man, I hope that you breathe that in. You're able to think about that as we travel this week, and what that quote and what these thoughts mean for you. Not just the ideas outside of yourself, but what do they actually mean for you and your current being today? All right, into Monday we go. As we're coming into Monday, our moon day is governed by fire. We've got the moon traveling through Sagittarius. So there's an optimism. There is a thirst for adventure, a thirst for knowledge, a thirst to see something different, to maybe travel beyond the horizons, even emotionally, that we have been in before. So embrace this energy here as the moon is here, where it's like, where can you look at greater truths that you've learned about yourself, your reality over this last week, and now you're ready to go on the journey of exploring yourself emotionally and broadening your horizons under that energy. Now, whether that be through learning something new, exploring some different ideas or philosophies that you might be willing to build your emotional life from, or even my favorite, as you know, trying something a little bit different. This last week, I tried to get ready for the moon in Sagittarius. I tried to make papadons, and I'll tell you what, I'm a pretty good cook. I don't burn a lot of things, but the papadons got it, you guys. But I will say that the mango chutney came out very well. So if anybody's got any suggestion on how to not burn the papadons, and if anybody is ready here as we travel on Monday to bring a different taste, a different sensation into your life, and see how that even allows you to go deeper into your personal exploration of your own emotional world. What does this trigger off for you? Then share that with me in the comment section down below. Now, we're also going to see that the sun is in a trine to Saturn here on Monday. And this aspect, this trine, creates a pocket of opportunity, but we have to go to the opportunity. The door is there, but we have to walk through it, okay? With Sun Saturn here in this position, it's supporting supportive. It's a supportive, steady energy. So it is steadying our Monday. We have this adventure, but there's a steadying. So it's also a great day to focus on anything you need to be working on that has long-term attention to it, okay? It's a long-term goal, or maybe, when we think long-term, it's not always about making a new plan. Sometimes it's about reinforcing the plans that we already have that have been trying to come to life, and we need to give them, a little bit more reinforcement. Do you need to reinforce some commitments that you made where you're like, I want to be making these changes in my daily routine. I want to be making these changes in my business, but you've kind of waned a bit from the commitment. It's okay. Let's revive them. Let's reinforce that commitment. It's also just a great day to work on anything that requires a fair amount of patience. This is a good patience aspect. Now, I will share with you that I don't think it's wise to pray for patience, because then you get an opportunity to practice a lot of patience. But I think it is a great day to be in gratitude for the patience that you have and its ever-growing presence, okay? The other thing I wanted to share with you that you can think about as we're thinking about this moon on Monday being in Sagittarius, and then we've got this adventurous energy, and then we've got this supportive growth long-term energy, is that what do you need to do, or where can you set yourself on a widening path to take practical steps towards your future? You've got the grounding influence of Saturn here on Monday. So this is going to put this contribution to taking that expansive Sagittarian idea that is available, especially emotionally. I want to see something different, right? I'm feeling that fire call, and give you a more grounded approach at actually achieving that. So where does that resonate for you? Now, here on Tuesday, we're going to come in and we've got the moon actually shifting into the position for void of course, and it's a fairly sizable void of course. It's going to be happening at 3:23 a.m., and this is Mountain Time. Remembering that we also just came off of daylight savings time in the United States, so keep that in mind, okay? Adjust your clocks accordingly. So we see it going from 3:23 a.m. until 8:17 a.m. And the thing I always like to bring to the attention is that first and foremost, when the moon is void, of course, the energy is not active. It's not really productive. It's a bit more nebulous. It's a bit slow. It's more about resting. This is the time to remember that the universe is kind. There is time to rest. There is place to not be on the hustle bustle, to include letting the thinking, your mind settle for a minute, right? Just put it down. And when something comes in, kick it out for time. Be like, I will see you at 8:18 a.m. Okay? Push it off for just a little bit. But the other thing to, I think, remember here as the moon is void, of course, is that it can be a finishing time. So if you've been thinking, I just don't have time to do all of these things, during a void of course energy, finishing things that have already been started is actually a beautiful time to go ahead and breathe that in. Now then we get on at 8:18 and the moon is going to move into Capricorn, and this is election day also in the US. So we've got, it's an energy that I think there's a strong signature with the moon being in Capricorn. We've got all this governmental energy that's going to be swarming and swirling around. But also to remember that as the moon comes into Capricorn, the moon does govern the people, right? In mundane astrology, it's the people of places as well. So in Capricorn, there's a more grounded and practical vibration that does become available. It's more about, I'm serious about taking on my responsibilities in a really long-term kind of way. I have a long-term objective and I'm willing to stay the course in order to achieve it. Now, there's also a fair amount of this discipline and this structure that's coming in. So, one of the things I think of is whatever is going on energetically, whether it be from the election, whether it be in your own personal home or your work, there is this sense of discipline and duty and structure that comes to us where it's like, no matter what's going on around me, I'm responsible for how I show up and what I bring into the room and the situations. And there's, with Capricorn, the vibration of, I don't feel put upon to show up to those obligations. The obligations help me grow. They let me see my own maturity. Now, I want to say as well, the same time we see the moon come into a sextile with Saturn. So the moon in Capricorn in beautiful conversation with its ruler, Saturn, over in Pisces energy, this is also reinforces stabilization. Okay, this does bring something stable to the people, the moon. It also brings something stable to our own emotional being. So even though it's a day that I know is quite loaded with energy, I do feel like it's a bit more grounded, or we have a door we can walk through with a really grounded approach. It is an ideal time to tackle any of the tasks that just need long-term focus. They need patience. They need enduring levels of focus. You know, if you need to get your financial plan together, if you needed to dedicate time to do the taxes for the end of the year, you need to get the insurance, you need to look at your personal routine, whatever it is, Tuesday is actually a very good day to take that on. Now, here on Wednesday, November 6th, we have got Mercury in a beautiful conversation with the nodes. So first of all, Mercury is going to be in a sextile to the south node, traveling through Libra, and in a trine to the north node, traveling through Aries. So in this sextile, the sextile creates not only the pocket of opportunity, but we're intelligently taking action. So Mercury, our planet of thinking, right? Conversation, it's in the mind. I'm gathering information. It's how I network. This aspect to the South Node, it's going to highlight, first of all, probably pretty important conversations we need to have. And they're conversations about our past. Right? This is to the South Node, our past relationships, how we've shown up in past relationships, things I've said in the past, and what does that matter? You know, certainly on a global level, we'll continue to hear things about the past this day. And what guides us towards the North Node, our future energy, are going to be the ways that we think and the way that we share our ideas today, the way that we can receive information differently today than maybe we ever could before. So it is a fantastic day on Wednesday to, first of all, know that you are in a day of destiny. This is a day to perk those ears up and pay attention and to reflect on lessons from the past, right? And see not only how you've changed, because sometimes it's just like I have to climb up the little mountain and then look back at the past to see how far I've come, right? I really have to look back to see that, wow, I've made progress, or what progress I've made. But also, how did my decisions from the past shape where I'm at now? And how do my decisions now shape where I want to go in the future? Because it is a day to be looking at that. And here's another thing to just think about. Because the moon is still traveling in Capricorn, and it's got that conversation going with Saturn, I do think that this may be a day where you're looking at, or you're reflecting on these past conversations, past behaviors, things like that, and you're considering if you're ready for the level of freedom that comes with that forgiveness. Have we moved past, several weeks ago at that moon, we were dealing with resentment. Like, I am still angry, or I'm not even angry. Resentment is just, I'm replaying it over and over and over again in my head, right? So are you ready today to take on the freedom that comes with being free from that resentment? It's really a beautiful day. Okay, here on Thursday, we're going to see the moon come into the position of void. Of course, again, this one is not very long, so you don't have to you don't have a lot of time, but you can work with it. It's going to be at 3:37 p.m. going all the way until 3:57 p.m. So a very short void, of course, and it's going to be in the afternoon for us, okay? So as that void, of course, times, just give yourself that 20 minutes, let the energy rain down, finish up the things you need to do, or just stop and get reconnected to your breath. Then we will see the moon shift into the vibration of Aquarius. As the moon gets into Aquarius, we're doing our once a month check-in on where do I need to detach from my emotions a little bit, right? Maybe I've been in the good seats. I've been on the field, so I can only see my emotions, the people in my life, from this seating space. And I need to get a little bit higher up in the seating so I can look down and see the entirety of the field, right? Also, self-pity lives in being too close to just the emotions, right? Where it's like, poor me, they've wronged me, all the me. And listen, I love the self-pity bar because I can pull up to the self-pity bar. I can go in there. They are always talking about me, which I love. And no matter what I say, they're like, yes, poor Stormie, So it's a good place too, as the moon moves into Aquarius, to look at, is there a space where self-pity is actually presenting itself to us, right? And we can get a bit of detachment from it, but look at it from a position of emotional genius. We get to have an innovation here as the moon is traveling through Aquarius, right? It's like, hold on, I cannot be this terminally unique. Where can I listen to a group of people or bring an innovative perspective in to maybe hear even my emotions from a different way, hear other people having the similar experience in me, that they've been where I am, right? Or you're just thinking outside of your box. It's a great time to connect with others in some kind of group activity or some kind of group capacity that pulls us out of ourselves so that we can have that detachment. So whatever that looks like for you here on Thursday, let me know, because that Aquarian energy is going to invite you to think and to get outside of your box. So embrace it on Thursday and embrace the unconventional. Look at your projects. Look at the things in your life from a different perspective, like a kaleidoscope. Just click it over one notch and see what happens. See what different picture you can see. Okay, on Friday the 8th, we come into the space of the first quarter moon happening at 17 degrees of Aries. So please make sure, Aquarius. So please make sure that you grab your chart so that you can see, where is this in your chart? What house is this lighting up for you? And because it's also going to tell us the pattern of your story. Now, like for me, 17 degrees of Aquarius is going to live in the 6th house space for me. What house is it happening in for you? If you're not sure how to find what house it's happening in for you, that's okay. I'll put a video at the end of this video to show you how to find the active transit in your own chart, because you really want to get this juicy information for yourself. Now, the first quarter time tells us that this is also a part of a lunation time where we're going to be in action. Now, go back into your life, February 9th of 2024, we had a new moon that was at 20 degrees of Aquarius, okay? So you were starting something then. You were planting your seeds of intention to begin something then. What was it? What were you starting? What was going on for you? You were calling a new cycle, a new set of experiences into your life. Now, as we're meeting in November, you're in action. It's time to take action. Now, the things in your life, the people, places, and things, and the old ideas count as things that do not meet the vibration of what you'd like to experience and what you said you wanted at the new moon, the universe is going to start to weed those out, because it can't be in the garden. It doesn't fit the vibe. Your job is to let the people, places, things, and old ideas go. Look at things from a different perspective so that you can let the universe do the heavy lifting and take those things away while you are building. What are your readiness and action steps? What are you building here at an emotional level? What are you building that is your new emotional genius? It is your ticket to freedom as you're under this energy. Now, we're going to check back in on this moon on August 9th of 2025, where we get to the full moon, and we'll bring the full cycle to a close May of 2026. So you are heavily involved in a deep project of your life, is what I'm saying under this particular energy, okay? And during last week's new moon, what intentions did you set? I'm curious. What intentions did you set, last week under the new moon, that even now you're looking at it going, okay, wait, I do have a little bit more action step even in the last couple weeks of something that I've been working on. Now, as we get to Saturday, we've got Venus in a square to Neptune, and I love these two. They're the Bopsy twins. I love them together. But as the two good Bopsy twins square against each other, we do see challenge. So first of all, it is this signature to each of us that something that may be occurring or happening in front of us, it's like it's too good. It's too much. It's too good. Something is very ethereal. Something just seems a little bit like, wow, what is that? Neptune is retrograde at this time and is not coming out of its retrograde until we get to December 7th. So there's something for you to question here. If you feel really enchanted and drawn towards something or someone, I say go. go with it, but go mindfully and go with your roadmap on how to get back out, because it may be too good. There can be this place where we're over idealizing something or someone, especially in our relationships. And that's really challenging on multiple levels because, first of all, we place a lot of weight on the person that we are over idealizing, right? We have placed them on a pedestal in some way. We put a lot of weight on them to carry our own hopes and dreams instead of us carrying them ourselves, right? And also, it's a place that I think is hard if we're the ones that we're over idealizing. We have ourselves in a container of like, my ideals are these, even though I can't really live up to them or I'm not. You know what I mean? So there's this illusionary place as this energy comes in that we just want to be a bit mindful. However, to the other side, contact that inner artist. Let that inner artist, healer, dreamer, meditator, sleeper, rester, creative projects. It's a great day for that, where there's this container for this ethereal, illusionary energy. It's highly supported here, and there is a canvas, there is a moment, there is a reaching between the worlds that it is wonderfully ready to be received in. Trust your intuition these days. And I think regardless of what is going on in front of you, if you're trusting your intuition, it'll actually be like your Jiminy Cricket is your guide here, right? You're like, wow, this is so good. And something in you is going, pay attention. Pay attention. Like, have you ever seen Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief when they're in Las Vegas and they're eating the little petals, and his dad just kind of pops up and it says, Percy, stop eating the petals. They're keeping you in a dream. If you've never seen it, I highly encourage you to watch that. But it's like that. Your Jiminy Cricket showing up to be your guide. Now, behind that, we're going to see that the moon goes void of course, and we've got several hours on this one. At 5:23 p.m., the moon will head void of course all the way until 8:59 p.m. So the energy down. And keep in mind as well, when the moon is void of course, something that can happen is because you're not getting that reflection and the energy is not so vibrant, our emotions and the head game that turns on can really play with us. It's like there are just all these stories that can come up. And instead, what I would just encourage you to remember, rest, reflect. I would avoid major decisions if you can. I would avoid major commitments if you can. I mean, obviously you don't go live under a rock, and if the kids have a play, you got to go to the play, but give yourself some grace and some space while you're in that in case the head game kicks on. Behind that, we'll see the moon shift into the vibration of Pisces, heightening that intuition, heightening that sensitivity, heightening that everything is everything, heightening the healer, the creator. And it's really an ideal transit, and we get it once a month to connect with your spiritual side. It's all your spiritual side, but the side you can consciously spiritually connect with. It's a great time to let the music, the arts, the activity in. It's a great time to look at, is there forgiveness that I need to give even to myself? Is there forgiveness that I need to give that I've been denying? Are there boundaries that I need to check in once a month? I need to check in on my boundaries and say, am I holding my boundaries, or am I got an energetic leak because I'm pushing my boundaries off or something, right? So it's a great day to keep that in mind. Now, this energy of that moon in Pisces, that Venus-Neptune square, that is going to push us all the way into and through Sunday. So just take it easy this weekend. Enjoy your creativity, enjoy the pleasure, enjoy the play. But remember that in all of this, while we have this freedom to do as we wish, to be as we wish, to come to the table, there is a space for responsibility in how we show up to it as well. And so we're trying to bring those together, I think, this week in a really harmonious way. So let each day's energy just be a lovely guide for you to participate in one day at a time. Blend the structure, blend the idealism, blend the vision, blend the creativity, and just allow yourself to start the week as a Sag and enjoy and embrace the journey, okay? All right, my absolutely beautiful astrology friends, click in the description box for more goodies and check out this video next. It'll show you how to find the active transit. And this other one is going to pull you back into your November horoscope so that you can listen through again and see how the month is going to unfold for you. Bye, beautiful friends.